everybody, welcome to MUSE TV. We are back for another episode. We have Haskiri Velazquez, who, as you know, is on the new Saved by the Bell on Peacock, going into season 2 now. But first of all, we need to talk about your nomination for the Imagen Award for Best Supporting Actress for Saved by the Bell. What does it feel like to be nominated for the show?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. For one, it definitely means that my hard work and the commitment I have to this character is being recognized and a lot of people are noticing it. But there's still so much more to do, I feel, in a sense. So I know this is just the start, but it also creates a sense of possibility for not only myself, but I know other young girls who are looking at this and they're like, wow, she was able to be on a show. She got nominated for being on that show. I know I can do that too. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm just so thankful for that.
Yeah, and what does it feel like to be nominated by fellow Latinos who are in the industry? Because there's a lot of us in the industry, but not many of us, many Latinos are out there who are actually gotten to that level where you've been able to get a show or be a series regular or even a director or executive producer. What does it feel like to be nominated by your peers?
It feels uplifting, for sure. I feel like I have a community of fellow Latinos, Latinx who support me, who are rooting for me, and who want to see me continue to win. And the same thing for me. I want to make sure that, regardless if I win the award or not, I want to support the Imagen Awards. I want to repost them. I want more people to have eyes on these sort of things, because I know the bigger the audience, the more opportunities we're just going to keep creating for ourselves.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, because we need to get more. Little by little, we're changing the game, but we got to change it a little more faster.
Yeah, I know. Every other Instagram story, I'm like, by the way, did you know the Imagen Awards are out?
Exactly.
I think it's just continue to repost and share, and word of mouth helps a lot too in this industry, especially.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we got to get into it, and we got to talk about Saved by the Bell, because I grew up with Saved by the Bell, the original one, because that was my high school years.
Yeah.
And I remember what it was like and how everybody wanted to be Zach Morris or AC Slater and all them. And now in this generation, you're getting kind of the same thing, even though some of the original cast is there, but you're kind of like that one standout that's where the original cast didn't have really that many Latinos other than Mario Lopez. Yeah. There's so much diversity now, and your character Daisy is smart, intelligent, go-getter, wants to rule the school. Yeah. So what does it feel like to have that first season now out of the way? Mm-hmm. We're looking at season 2 coming up soon. And what does it feel like to be a part of that and to be in that situation now?
It feels really good. I think the thing I love about it is that before I got Saved by the Bell, a lot of the auditions that I was going out for were very one-sided, if that makes sense. It was just that one Latino in that show. It wasn't diverse at all. And it was really strange for me, because I grew up in a world where as soon as I walked out of my front door, there was just so many different people from so many different backgrounds and ethnicities. So it means a lot to be a part of a cast that kind of mirrors my life, coming from New York and entering LA, but also having the OGs. I grew up watching kind of Saved by the Bell. So seeing Mario on set, Elizabeth on set, or even the first table read, it was just this very surreal feeling, like if I walked into the television screen myself. And I think it's so important to share these stories of all these characters on Saved by the Bell. You have Dexter, who plays Devontae, and you see what he's struggling with. And I think it's so beautiful to kind of share these stories and continue to educate, now, especially we're in a world where it's important that the work that we put out there, in a sense, can educate the audience.
Exactly. And it's a completely, and this is the one thing, if they haven't seen it, I mean, first of all, you got to see it. Even if you're an old school Saved by the Bell fan like myself, you got to see this, because it's completely different. It doesn't really, the characters are still the same, and they come into this and you have new characters, but it's a different type of storytelling, different type of storytelling. And this is what I like, because it's brought it up to modern age. Yeah. When you got the script, was it something that you were really excited about?
For sure. I think the first person I called was my dad, because he swore he was Mario Lopez. Literally the other day, he's like, I saw Mario Lopez con, I forgot the guy's name, from El Menudo when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you have to text him and ask him, what was the history behind that photo? I'm like, Dad. And then I ended up texting Mario and he gave me a whole explanation. And I was like, there you go. But I knew how exciting it was for me, but more, I know it would be exciting for him. So I gave him that call and he was like, oh my gosh, I hope you get it. I called my mom after. And when I sat down and actually read, you know, the sides for Daisy, there was this instant like relatability to her. I knew exactly who this character was because she was me. And outside of the fact that, you know, Daisy just has her mom and her younger brother, I grew up with two brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. And you know, my parents were never together. So I was jumping from like household to household. And there was a lot of struggle in that, but there was still a lot of determination and drive. And, you know, getting into that character, I kind of didn't have to change much because I knew I just had to bring myself in a sense. So so it was just like a moment of time where I was like, this is what I think I've been waiting for in my acting career, is a character that I could relate to, that I didn't have to really change myself for.
Yeah, and that's what I see. It comes off a screen very easily, and you could tell like there's some familiar. I don't know why and many people can. And you see good acting, you kind of could tell that there's some relatability into the acting, which makes it real. And that's what I like when I watch great performances. Hence the reason why you're nominated. But when you first during the first season, because we didn't get a chance to talk to you for a first season,
I know.
So I have to get as much as I possibly can in, because what is what it is. When you heard it was going on Peacock, was it something that was like, did you ever get worried like it would find its audience? Because like it was originally in traditional TV on Saturday mornings, where you had people who were paying, wake up and you saw it. With streaming, it's a little different. Were you kind of worried that like you won't get an audience because it's streaming?
Yeah. I think I was kind of naive to a little bit of the streaming platforms because I'm the one that I have every streamer possible. So I thought everyone was going to be like me, like just download it. But then I don't know, I think there was like, I believed that it wasn't going to be a problem, but then I believed that it was, just because a lot of people weren't familiar with Peacock. It was a brand new platform. There wasn't much buzz around it. So I feel like there was a lot of pressure, I think, on myself and the rest of the cast to kind of get the word out there, to let people know like this is a streaming service you do want to download, not only for Saved by the Bell, but they have so many other shows on there that are so good. But yeah, I don't know. That's actually a really good question. I think in a sense, at first, before the show dropped, there was a little bit of like, oh, is it going to work? And then the feedback we were getting, I think it assured me that it was working. And we have such great writers on the show. And I think the work speaks for itself. And a lot of people were like, okay, there's buzz around this show. I need to see it. I need to know why people like it. And I mean, we're in season 2, which is really exciting. So hopeful for a season 3, if anything.
Yeah. And I think it came out in a good time, because it came out during the pandemic, so you had a captive audience. And also, too, it was like 4 or 5 months after the Peacock had to put in the WWE network. So it brought a whole new audience into the streaming, just to the platform. And I think it benefited you guys a lot to get that audience and capture them.
Yeah, I agree. And we also, I remember that we dropped, I think, a day after Thanksgiving. So we were a couple months into the pandemic, and I think things were settling down a little more. People were trying to gather with their families, and what better way to spend time with your family and watch a show that has just so much nostalgic. Like when you're in a time of like uncertainty, something that can bring you back is like Saturday morning cartoons or cereal in the morning, you know? So they were smart.
Exactly. And there were so many, like I remember the first episode and watching it, because I saw it right when it dropped, because I was kind of curious to see what this is like. And then you see all the references to the old show, and I was like, okay, I'm into this. It's different, but yet you still have references. So it's kind of cool. So what do you have working on next? Season 2 is coming up. Do we have a release date yet on season 2?
Not yet. I feel like they're leaning towards, again, another November release. Like, don't quote me on that. I just finished some ADR 2 days ago for it. So it's moving. It's getting
Okay.
there. And maybe,
Because like it left me on a cliffhanger.
yeah, I
I'm
know.
kind of curious.
And you know what's crazy? Like for me, I think like for before I became an actor, I was like, I know these actors know these answers and they just don't want to give it to us. And now I'm like, I really don't know. Like, I'm like, I'm so sorry for judging you guys, but I really don't know. They haven't told us about a release date, but as soon as I know, I'm gonna let the world know for sure.
Cool, and we always follow you, and we're gonna share the word as soon as it comes out and they drop. We have some great people at Peacock as well, so now that we're getting everything, we'll
Yeah.
let everybody know because the show's really good. Is there anything else you're working on right now outside of TV?
I just started a YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
and it's for aspiring actors. It's called That's a Wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have 3 videos out right now. It's basically the basics on, how to get an agent, how to read a breakdown, how to audition, how to walk into a room. It's just, I think for me, I wanted to make sure that with the platform that I'm on as an actor, I want to be able to continue to pay it forward and inspire kids. So that's why I created that YouTube channel. When I started acting, there was a lot of times where I had a bunch of questions, like, what's a headshot? How do you get a headshot? What do you do? And it led me to a lot of dead ends because my parents weren't educated. So a lot of the times it was me doing my own research. And I was like, if I had an actor who was, making a living out of this and was able to give advice to someone like me who's just starting, I know that this road as an actor could be a lot easier. So that's kind of what I wanted to create for people. I wanted them to have some kind of hope, some kind of guidance. So that's what I'm hoping to do with that YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that's great because like many of us don't have that connection to the industry in this field, even for like myself growing up. There was no journalism. I had nobody in my field who's ever in my family who's ever been in journalism or even wanted to try and start going into this type of direction. So you have to learn on your own, and it's great to have you do a YouTube channel at least to help people, so that they get an idea of what they need to do, steps.
That was my hope. So I'm like, I promote that on my personal Instagram account, on my Twitter. And I'm just like, comment below, let me know if this is helping, just because I know like how hard it can be, so.
Exactly. So, but that's all the time that we have for today with you, unfortunately. But tell us, where can people find, one, the YouTube channel, so that people want to follow and learn from what your experience is, and two, social media, and anything else you want to drop for the Muse audience?
Yeah, well, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Haskiri, Haskiri. And then you can also follow my YouTube. What is my YouTube? I feel like it's my name. It's my name, but I feel like I've switched it because I'm like, how can people find my YouTube? I believe my YouTube is definitely under my name, and it's under my name, Haskiri Velazquez.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, you can take your time and look for it and make sure because this happens all the time. This is comfortably relaxing interviews.
It's literally under my name. It's Haskiri Velazquez, but my channel is called That's a Wrap, like my logo, I would say. But my YouTube channel is under my professional name, Haskiri Velazquez.
Awesome, and then we'll be able to see you at the Imagen Awards. Hopefully as Best Supporting Actress, but if not, hey, it's great to be nominated and you're going to be a part of it. And Haskiri, thank you so much for being a part of Muse TV. It's great to finally have you on to be able to talk about Saved by the Bell. And
again, this is not the last of it, so we'll definitely do another one.
Exactly, because for season 2, we'll have another bunch of questions to go into, especially with you and Zach Morris's son, and where that. Is it going to be like the Mario Lopez, Zach Morris type of relationship where eventually?
Yeah, maybe. The writing is very good. The writing literally keeps you on cliffhangers the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about shows. Like I watch shows that literally have me like, what the hell? What's next? And then binge it.
Yeah.
The writing is so good. So it definitely is going to play with your emotions for sure.
Yeah. Well, we tried to get a couple little bit about season 2, but hey, thank you so much for being a part of Muse TV. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Hopefully within the next couple months when season 2 comes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Problem. Thank you. And if you want to find out more, please look at the description below. We'll have links for the Imagen Awards as well to see Saved by the Bell on Peacocks after we get you right in. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next time here on MUSE TV.
Bye. Thank you.